It's the ultimate moving dilemma. Do I declutter first or do I pack first? Do I declutter my items and then pack what's left? Or do I pack everything up and then decide what to get rid of on the other end? Let's talk about it. Hi, I'm Sheila, and after moving 10 times in 10 years, here's the system that I have found that works the best for packing and decluttering. Moving would be so easy if every house were laid out exactly the same way. If you could just take everything you own from your current place, pick it up, and move it into the new place and set it right down, right back in the same spot, that would be so easy, right? If you knew that what you're using now, you're going to use over there, it would make things so much simpler. But that's not the way that it works. Whether you're moving into a house that's bigger, smaller, or about the same size, chances are good that the layout is very different. And it can be hard to know exactly what you're going to need when you get to the new place or how it's all going to fit. And that uncertainty about where and how everything is going to fit can make it really tempting to just pack up everything that you own, move it to the new place, and then make all of your decisions once you get there. Spoiler alert, that rarely works. I can't tell you how many times I have seen people packing for a move, and in the process, they come across boxes that they brought with them from their previous move. And I'm talking about a move that happened like 7, 10, 15 years ago, and that stuff is still in the boxes. Boxes that they packed with the best of intentions, hoping that they would go through them when they got to their new place, and they just never did. Now, obviously, they probably don't need it if it's that old and they never even opened it. Why would we continue to weigh ourselves down with possessions that we are carrying from house to house throughout the years? Literally feeling the weight of these possessions every time that you move them. It's taking up space on the moving truck. It's costing you money because you need a bigger truck. The stuff is heavy, so it's extra weight and extra gas for the truck. We're having to lift it and carry it over and over, and so it's more taxing on our bodies, and it's taking up precious real estate, quite literally, in our lives. That's why decluttering is such an important part of the moving process. When you move, you're touching all of your items multiple times. You're touching them to take them out of their current place, to wrap them up and box them up, and then pick up that box and put it onto the truck. Then take that box off of the truck, take it into the new place, unbox it, unwrap it, and put everything away. It's a lot of times to handle the same item, especially if it's something that you don't even really use or love. So it makes a lot of sense to declutter before you move, but you don't want to do it in a way that is so overwhelming. There are some people who will tell you to go through your whole house and declutter the whole thing before you pack anything. I don't know about you, but that feels really overwhelming to me, to think that I have to go through and declutter my entire house all in one go and then start packing. Now it feels like two huge jobs. Already packing felt so daunting, and now I've got to declutter on top of that. It feels like a lot. In our last video, we talked about when you look at packing as one huge thing to do, it can be really overwhelming, and it's important to break it into smaller steps. And it's the same thing with decluttering. We're gonna go one small area at a time until it's done. Fly lady Marla Silly once said that stuff comes into your house one bag at a time, and it's gonna go out of your house one bag at a time. And it's the same way with packing. That stuff that's in your house right now, no matter how long you've lived in your house, it came into your house a little bit at a time. And so as we go through the process of packing and decluttering, we're gonna take it out a little bit at a time. As you're decluttering / packing, you need to have 3 things by your side at all times. One is a black garbage bag. The other one is a donation box. And then finally, you need a box to pack. A word to the wise about the black garbage bag: throughout the process of the move, I recommend only using black garbage bags for garbage. Please don't pack anything that you actually want to keep in a black garbage bag. I've heard some really sad stories of things getting thrown away because they were packed in black garbage bags. And when something is in a black garbage bag, it looks like, well, garbage. And so anyone who's there to help you with the move might accidentally grab that black bag and throw it away in an effort to help you. We don't want you to lose anything that you actually do need. So the black garbage bags are only for garbage. So the system that I recommend is to set a timer. I usually go for about 15 minutes. I empty out everything from one small space. Maybe it's just one tiny drawer in your house. Empty everything out of it. Wipe out the drawer so now it's nice and clean. Taking a step back, and now you get to look at that beautiful, empty, clean space. Even if it's just one drawer, you now have one space in your current house that's completely empty, cleared out, and wiped out. And then you look at the pile of everything that you took out. Set that timer for 15 minutes, and everything in that pile is gonna go one of 3 places. It's either going in my black garbage bag, it's going in my donation box, or it's going in a box that I am packing. That's it. Everything has got to go, and it's going to go in one of those 3 spaces. So the first thing we do is get rid of all of the obvious garbage. Is it something that's broken or mismatched? Something that you don't even remember what it is or where it came from? That stuff can go straight to the garbage. Then you're going to go through and figure out what can be donated. What are the things that you know you're not going to use again, you don't need? Is it maybe an item of clothing that a family member has outgrown? You can put that in your donate box. Finally, what's left goes into the packing box. We're starting really small, focusing on one area at a time. And by focusing on one small area of your home like this, it gives you that momentum of seeing something that's actually completed and having that confidence of seeing that you're making progress. Once your timer goes off and you're finished with that pile, we're not putting anything back in that cabinet or that drawer. This is really important, so don't skip this step. After you have finished the drawer or the cabinet, I recommend taking a piece of paper. I usually print off some signs, or you can just handwrite some signs that say empty, and I tape it with painter's tape right onto that cabinet or that drawer. And that does a couple of things for me. Number one, it reinforces to my brain that I have gotten started packing and that I'm off to a good start. Number two, it helps me at a glance to see areas that I've already worked on that I don't need to go back through. Because as you get closer and closer to the time of your move, it's going to save you time to not keep opening that same cabinet door to check, did I pack this or not? Did I pack this or not? There's going to be a sign on it that says empty, and you'll know that you don't need to revisit that area. You're already done with it, and you can move on to other things. When I see more and more of those empty signs starting to pop up around my house, it helps me to know that I'm making progress, that I've got all these cabinets now that are becoming empty, and I'm getting closer and closer to being ready for my organized move. Now, there might be some things where you're kind of on the fence and you think, I don't know if I'm going to need this or not. My best rule of thumb for that is when in doubt, leave it out and donate it. But I would say just go with your gut here. Give yourself that grace of knowing that whatever your first impulse was when you picked up that item, that was probably the right decision. So if you picked it up and thought, I don't really need this, then let it go. Give yourself the permission to just let it go. The worst thing you can do throughout this whole process is to second guess yourself. Go with your gut here. Chances are you're right, and just move forward. If you're enjoying this video so far, it would mean the world to me if you would hit that subscribe button and share this with a friend so that I can help more people. Thank you so much. Let's keep going. When I see people who are stuck with moving, it's usually because there's one question that's holding them back. Whether they're stuck on decluttering or on packing, the question that's holding them back is, what if I need this? What if I need this item that I'm about to declutter? What if I need this item that I'm about to pack? The Minimal Mom, who's one of my favorite YouTubers, says that when we're decluttering, instead of asking ourselves, what if I need this or will I use this again, we should ask ourselves, what could I use instead? So throughout the process of decluttering and packing, if you're being held back by that question of what if I need this, try switching that question and asking yourself, what would I use instead? If I decluttered this item, what would I use instead? If I packed this item and found out that I needed it, what would I use instead? You might be surprised at how little you can actually get by with. And when it comes to not wanting to get started packing because you're afraid that you might need something, that's where the color coding and organizational system comes in handy. And if you missed that video, I will link it right here. But basically, you're going to know where everything is in your boxes. You're going to know what's inside each box, and you don't even have to write it on the box. There's a whole system where you can just voice text it into your phone and have a record of what's in each box. So you'll know exactly where it is in case you need it, but you're probably not going to need it. After 10 moves in 10 years, there's only been one time where I have needed something out of a box, and it was super easy to find because of this inventory system. So as you're preparing for your move, please don't waste one more second worrying, what if I need this, or what if I do it wrong, or where do I start? Let's jump in together, grab your timer, set it for 15 minutes, and let's work on one drawer or one cabinet at a time. Have confidence in yourself, go with your gut, you've got this, and you can do it. Almost everything can be packed in advance, but there are a few things that you should hold out until the last minute. And I'm going to be showing you just what those things are in this next video right here. I'll meet you there.